What is the craziest encounter of rich kid syndrome that you have experienced? I lived with 5 guys and I was the only one whose parents weren't millionaires, not close at all. They never cleaned. About once a month I would deep clean the house, but 2 days later there was garbage and food on the floor. I found out they all told their parents the poor kid made all the messes when one of their moms came by to scream at me. Not scathing like most of the ones on here. I grew up attending a private school in a developing country, so a lot of my classmates were in the 1% of the country. Whenever we'd be swimming in the school pool, one friend of ours in particular would always remark that swimming is more fun if the pool has a current or waves. To which I had no idea what he was talking about and generally thought he was just being imaginative. One day he invited me over to his house for swimming in. He had a 50-foot indoor pool that generated a current, waves. He wasn't lying. They are a lot more fun. A personal wave pool? That sounds awesome. My college roommate's mom gave him fucking $1,400 for the weekend, just randomly. He blew through the whole thing by Saturday, asked his mom for more money and was screaming at her because she promised $1,400 for the weekend, and he spent most of what she gave him on Friday, which isn't a part of the weekend. Damn, what do you even spend $1,400 on in one day? Besides clothes, shoes, edit. Seems like the consensus says, cocaine, haha. He spent it on buying girls drinks, particularly bottle service, over the course of Friday and Saturday night. Knew a trust fund girl whose dad gave her the money to start a company. She lost it when she went on vacation for 6 months and forgot she was supposed to pay her employees all the time. She assumed they would not get paid for 6 months and be there when she got back. I quizzed her on this for a few min and it was clear she had no idea what a job was. Good friend of mine. My dad bought me a house and now I can't buy a house of my own. Stamp duties here are insane to prevent rich people from driving up property prices. Although I have to say that I really respect my friend very much for his desire to actually step out of his dad's shadow. Look up Corona Del Mar High School cheating scandal, happened at my school. Parents paid around $50K a piece to have a tutor bug the school computers and change students' grades. They all lawyered up big time when it came out and all the kids got off free and all made it into their top 3 schools. Girl I went to high school with got a Mercedes for her 16th birthday. Bitched and moaned about the fact that she didn't get a Lexus, because her name was Lexi and she thought it would be so cool for Lexi to drive a Lexus with a custom license plate saying, Lexi. Her parents did cave and buy her a Lexus for her 17th birthday. A Saudi guy in the UK got in a crash, with light damage to one side of brand new Mercedes. He called for one of his assistants to come get him, even though the car was fully drivable. My friend rolled up on call with his tow truck and asked the guy where he wanted the Merc towed. The guy gave him the keys and said, keep it, I don't want it. Damn, I need to befriend some Saudi princes. A girl in my school was surprised by her parents in the school's parking lot with a new BMW. A freaking BMW. Everyone who is out is basically watching this go down and she starts crying. At first we are all thinking it's because she's so happy, but then she runs back into the school. Apparently they were supposed to show up earlier, I'm assuming when there would be more students to witness the surprise. I felt bad for the dad because he looked totally embarrassed and sad about it. You know, in his head he's like, I created this monster. My personal favorite was in college. Kid down the hall from me bought a brand new Fender Stratocaster and played with it for a day and got bored and sold it to me, case and all, for $20. I still have it and play it 15 years later. It's a great guitar. Had a kid that lived across the hall from me my freshman year of college from Honduras. During one of the icebreakers after freshman move in, he leaned to me to ask if I knew when the maids came to make his bed clean. I guess his family was very well off in his home country and the entire semester was an eye-opener for him in actually taking care of himself. First day as a librarian in a private school. Help a 7-year-old with the printer. He offers to tip me. I like this one because he's not a snot. He's just trying to be polite. Haha, it's super innocent. Like, kid doesn't know. He's just trying to be like the grown-ups he has grown up around. There was this rich kid in our class who was literally disgusted by us buying used stuff, like computer parts, on eBay. Once during conversation I said I bought on eBay memory module for my PC and said to me that I should have a little dignity, and if I buy used stuff I should keep it to myself. I know a garbage man that works in rich neighborhoods, and takes out trash around move-out time for the uber-rich kid university. Every year, he finds 200 to 300 game consoles, the newest ones, and sometimes desktop PCs, The kids don't want to take them home, they just throw them all out. He makes a good approximately $40K a year on eBay. He just cleans stuff up and sells it. Nice supplementary income. At my uni, some Saudi kid left an Audi in the parking lot when he went back home. Got towed, impounded, and when called he said he didn't give a shit, so it got sold at auction to recoup all the impound fees. I watched Rich Kids of Instagram on YouTube and am still recovering. Kids trying to straight up bribe bouncers and even police officers. This is less surprising when you realize they were international students from rich families where bribes are common, expected. Thankfully, they'd learn really quick to not do that. Kids trying to straight up bribe bouncers. A lot of people pay bouncers for special favors, not really a rich thing. Police on the other hand. Agreed, but usually it isn't quite so blatant. Let us in first and I'll give you $100, said loud enough that everyone can hear, like it was a bidding war for entry. There's a lot of rich kids in my particular business program in university. I met this one girl a few months ago at a social. We were chatting a bit about our program and she proudly told me about how she threatens to sue the school whenever things don't go her way. She also said something to the effect of, they have to take the threat seriously because they know I actually have the means to follow through, haha. I went to college with a guy who totaled 5 Mustangs in a year. I don't think he was sober enough to remember any of them. I went to high school with a guy who totaled an Escalade that he got for his 16th birthday. So his parents bought him a Mustang Cobra that he totaled after a few months, so they bought him a classic Corvette and he died when he wrecked it a few weeks later. I feel bad for the parents, because I can't imagine what it's like to lose a kid. But at the same time, he very thoroughly proved that he's not a safe driver. Why keep buying him cars and on top of that powerful, and progressively less safe ones? If I had, fuck you, money and my kid wrecked their first car, they'd be getting a Prius. An old tired first-gen Prius. A car so slow and boring you're in more danger of dying of boredom while driving. I work in a jail. I always love when someone gets arrested and comes in screaming, "Do you know who my dad, mom, grandpa, uncle is?" He'll buy your entire fuck jail. It's even better when their dad, mom, grandpa, uncle refuses to come bond them out. I knew a chick in high school who threw a tantrum that the SUV her parents, new by the way, wasn't the right color. One time a college dorm mate next door was stressing his dad hadn't yet given him money for the month, and $1,000 wasn't going to last him for the week. Meanwhile I'm having to donate plasma to afford my next meal. Life just be like that. Bruh, I try to live off less than $1,000 per month. I was that poor kid who ended up getting a scholarship to a ridiculous private school. The one thing that stood out massively for me was probably how much people cared about what everyone else's parents did. Like your parents' achievements counted for yourself. My daddy just brought a new plane, yes, a literal statement, so what does your dad do? When I replied, fuck all, they laughed and thought I was being cool about it.